a mom. Please don't judge. I love the shades, by the way.
I love the vibe. Are you saying I was the best dressed? Of course. Of course I'm the best dressed. I mean, Farhana's dress I would have worn to a picnic.
The shade!
Hello, my lovelies. I'm in حد الهون.
شيء عم ببعث لي مسج، بعث لي صورة البيرثدي، قلت لها أنا هيك أي الكيكة أي فرحانة.
Because I tell them I worked my ass off in real estate and this is how I got it.
And so did Farhana. She worked her ass off to get where she is.
Yeah, but she has got her. But we don't know if it's sponsored or if it's her.
So what? Tag team. Like, Zeina says this, then Zeina is quiet, then Safa talks. Then Safa talks, then Zeina talks. Like is it? And I'm like, خلاص اسكتوا أنا أبغى أتكلم يعني let me speak.
You girls wanna gang up against me? Cool. I'm ready for it.
I just felt guilty being sitting at a table and this is all happening and you don't know about it, so I wanted to fill you in. You know I'm loyal. You have someone who's behind you, a brother named Ebraheem. I got you.
Hey! Hey! My God! The shade. Guys, if there's one thing that I really love about Dubai Blings, it's the shade, guys. These cast members, every time they open their mouth, there's one form of shade or the other that drops like a bomb. And it's so unfiltered, and the way they carry their face, their facial expression, guys, it just comes across like they didn't even say anything. These people are savage. I'm telling you, they are crazily savage, and I totally love it. I mean, guys, I can't even complain. Yes, as a matter of fact, that is part of the juice of the show. So without much further ado, we're gonna get into this particular video as I break down, analyze, and review, the episode 2 of Dubai Bling. So please make sure you watch to the end of this video. Do not skip out on any part. Yes, and before I get into it, let me officially welcome all of you back again to my YouTube channel. Hi, you are especially welcome. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory, and I am the girl with the tea. The tea of this video is all about the drama, the gossip, the pettiness, the shade, most importantly, that unfolded in the episode 2 of Dubai Blinks, guys. Remember, the show is currently available on Netflix. For those of you that are still asking where you can watch the show from, I've said it before, it's on Netflix. So go ahead, watch it, and I would love to know your thoughts about the show as I, push out my reviews. And if you're new on this channel, thank you so much for choosing to click on this video to watch. If this is your first time watching my video, yes, especially if you're looking for that space where you can get the most detailed, factual, and accurate analysis on reality TV shows, movies, and trendy social topics, thank you so much for choosing to click on this video. Yes, and this is the right space for you to be if you're looking for that kind of content. And if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to come back. Yes, but if you are yet to subscribe to this channel or even turn on your post notification bell, please just do exactly what you see on your screen. Do not hesitate to do so, as that's one of the easiest and fastest ways for you to receive a lot of my videos whenever I upload a new one. And that's it. Let's just quickly get into this video. First things first, aside the shade that I was really excited about, that was richly employed in this particular episode 2 of the show, there were 3 major issues that were raised as well. And guys, frankly speaking, those issues were what spiked my interest in following through with this particular series. I'm talking about issues of surrogacy, issues of women getting expired in the media in the Arab world, and there's also the issue of respect for people's hustle. And it was quite interesting how those issues, were conversed about. So I would love to know your perspective about those issues as they unfold in the events of this particular episode. So episode 2 opened with LJ and Zeina at the spa. Now for LJ, that was our own opportunity to tell our own side of the story of what exactly had happened between herself and Farhana to cause the beef that they had. Now, according to LJ, everything Farhana said at Chris's engagement dinner was a lie. According to her, the quotes that she had tagged Farhana on social media was simply a joke, and she didn't leave it for up to 5 minutes. Immediately she posted it and tagged Farhana she had actually put a laughing emoji and she had actually deleted it. But then to her dismay, Farhana had gone ahead to spread it as a gossip to all of her other friends, thereby making her look like a bad person. Now, she also shared another experience that had happened when she and Farhana were still very, very close friends. According to LJ, she had invited Farhana to her house, and Farhana had looked around and had made statements like, oh, you are so lucky, your husband was a billionaire and he died leaving you with every single thing, like every single comfort and luxury that you could ever ask for. You don't have to hustle for anything. You have everything provided for you. And according to LJ, the way Farhana had made that statement, she looked very, very envious, right? Because she was looking at everything around LJ's house and she was, saying what she was saying. So that kind of really scared LJ, and for her, she's not ready to be friends with Farhana anymore. Now, whilst LJ was saying all of these things, Zeina during her confessionals was saying that she believed LJ 100% because she believed truly that from her own experience with Farhana, that Farhana was capable of such. I'm not gonna lie, guys, the moment Zeina made that statement, I was kind of disappointed because I'm not really a fan of people who hear things about people and without confirming if that's the truth or not, they just go ahead to believe whatever has been said about those persons because they just feel like, oh, those people are actually capable of doing X, Y, Z, So that was kind of disappointing for me, looking at Zeina, I'm thinking, okay, because you had your own personal experience with this person does not mean that what LJ is saying to you and how LJ is describing Farhana's countenance is 100% true. Moving on to the next scene, we were introduced to DJ Bling, who is an international DJ. I actually mentioned that on my other video, yes, but in episode 1, we did not get to see him and his wife, Danya. His wife, Danya, is a YouTuber that's into makeup, beauty, and lifestyle. Now, DJ Bling, Ebraheem, and Safa's husband, Fahad, were at the gym, trying to get their body fit, but then they decided to engage in some rich kind of gossip. Now, Ebraheem decided to unpack his experience with LJ at their blind date. Now, from all what Ebraheem was saying, that blind date for him was a disaster and he's not sure he ever wants to go on another date with LJ. But DJ Bling, on the other hand, was trying to convince Ebraheem that LJ is actually a cool person, that the only thing is that she's just very, very blunt. Whatever she thinks, that's the exact way she says it. Now, they were done with that gossip. Fahad decided to share details of what had happened at Chris's engagement dinner, where LJ and Farhana had some sort of face-off, their little quarrel about who offended who's going to apologize and who's not going to apologize. Now, it was at that point that Ebraheem automatically just meted out his judgment on LJ that no, LJ has a very, very irritating personality. He actually said that during his confessionals. And guys, I was just looking at this guy like this, like, bro, you only went on one date with this person. You people did not even have enough conversations. You don't even know if this person was having a bad day, and automatically this person has an irritating personality. Oh God. The next scene was Safa and Zeina meeting up with Lujane for lunch. And it was at that point that Safa had opened up to her friends about her decision to take on surrogacy, to give her husband Fahad another child. That for her, she was not ready to get pregnant again because her first pregnancy was a real hassle for her. It was extremely stressful. She was depressed. She was not sleeping well. She added weight. She was fat. She was cranky. She was just basically complaining about the negative effects that first pregnancy had on her, and she was not ready to relive that same experience again. Otherwise, she was going to become a bad mom and a terrible wife. But Lujane and Zeina were trying to, convince her and make her understand that surrogacy was something that was frowned upon by their religion and society in general. That in the Arab world, surrogacy was a conversation that was not, really had in the open. They frown upon it. It's not in their religion. It's not practiced in their religion. And they believe strongly that if Allah blesses a woman with the fruit of the womb, she was to carry that pregnancy by herself, and deliver that child safely. So for her, she was not going to, that's for Lujane, she was not going to advised Safa to go ahead with that kind of idea. Zeina as well was trying to, convince Safa. Now, guys, it was a very, very interesting conversation as these women were giving a lot of valid reasons, actually, especially they were telling Safa that from all what she complained about, she did not really have a valid reason to want to toe the line of surrogacy, that she's healthy, she's fit, and she's mentally sound, so she should go ahead and, get pregnant for her husband. And guys, that gave me a cause for worry, because here I was thinking out of my own naivety that, okay, if Safa is complaining about all of these things, that came with her first pregnancy, what exactly is wrong with her, paying someone else to help her carry a pregnancy? What if she's not mentally sound to carry a pregnancy? What if she's not emotionally ready to carry a pregnancy? I mean, guys, these things can only be explained by women who have actually been pregnant before, who have actually given birth to a child, especially those ones who had struggles, and even equally those ones who did not really have struggles as well. But guys, I don't know, what do you think? I mean, I understand, when they bring in the conversation of religion and societal norms, but then I'm thinking, what if the mental health of Safa, is at stake? Does she not have a right to decide to pay someone to help her get pregnant? Guys, what exactly do you think? I would love to know your thoughts about that. This next scene, guys, was ridiculously hilarious because, in my frank opinion, if you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, it was just completely kind of irrelevant. I felt like the producers of the show just decided to chip in this particular scene, to bring more entertainment to us. Anyways, DJ Bliss had decided to go for reconstructive surgery to get six packs automatically, other than burning himself in the gym. Yeah, so he had taken along his wife Danya and his best friend Ebraheem to see a doctor, a surgeon. And his wife Danya found it very, very disgusting. She was just very, very irritated. Now, when he was asked the exact reason he wanted a surgical six packs, this guy said that it's all for the benefit of his concerts, of his shows. So when he's at the club or when he's on stage, wherever, playing his thing, doing his DJ thing, he wants to be able to take off his shirt proudly and flaunt his six pack so that the crowd will go gaga and the crowd will shout. Anyways, in the same episode, we got to learn that LJ was not really raised by her mom. According to her mom had actually abandoned her when her parents got divorced. Her dad is in Egypt, her mom is in the United States. So she had gotten married at the age of 21, and even after she had had her 2 kids, the mom never showed up. Guys, it was a very, very sad story. And LJ, who seemed like the peacemaker of the entire circle, was there to give her a shoulder to lean on. And guys, it was a very sad story. I mean, when you listen to LJ speak about it, guys, it was just very obvious that she was longing for her mother's touch, her mother's presence in her life. And she actually did something about it, and we'll get to find out in the next episodes to come, all right? I don't want to spill all the tea in just this episode. Anyways, moving on, we also got to know that it was Farhana's birthday month, and she had been celebrating her birthday over and over and over, and she was about to have the 4th or the 6th celebration, to round off the month of her birthday. That's her birthday month. Guys, initially when the gentlemen at the gym, that's Fahad, Ebraheem and DJ Bliss, were talking about it and laughing about it and speculating about the many more drama that is to come at that party, guys, I was just rolling my eyes and I was laughing and I was thinking, rich people problems, that these are the kind of problems that rich people face. But then I remembered that Farhana is an influencer, right? A social media content creator. And from all what we saw about how she, organized the party, the content creation, making stories, making videos, guys, it was just very obvious that all of the parties that she was, organizing to celebrate the so-called birthday was just basically to create content, because every single thing at the party was sponsored. And that was a major bone of contention for Zeina, because Zeina is an elite, yes, millionaire, real estate mogul. She's a very, very private person, likes to keep it classy and simple. And so for her, she felt like it was like a big disgrace to attend events where every single thing was sponsored, down down to the chairs, down to the pillows, down to the foods they were eating. For her, it did not spell class at all, and it was completely beneath the kind of crowd that she was used to. And she did not waste time in giving Farhana a piece of her mind in an almost kind of friendly way anyways. But before we get to that gist, let's take it from the top. Yes, from the beginning of Farhana's birthday, or should I call it 4th or 6th birthday party celebration. Yes, so Ebraheem and his mother had arrived first, and Ebraheem had wasted no time, you know, in rushing over to Farhana to get the juicy details of what exactly had transpired between herself and what's her name now, LJ, during Chris's engagement dinner. And guys, the way Ebraheem had rushed over and the way he was whispering to get a gist, I said, chai, this guy is a negative enabler. This guy is a terrible gossip and very, very petty. Because guys, Farhana was giving her the gist, you know, of course, defending herself that, oh, LJ had wronged her, blah, blah, blah. She needed an apology. And LJ had, you know, stormed out of the party. And Ebraheem had not even waited to hear LJ's own side of the story. Automatically, once again, he had concluded on judging LJ's personality that, oh, LJ is X, Y, and Z. LJ is X, Y, and Z. And Safa and her husband, Fahad, showed up at the party venue, and oh my God. Safa was looking stunning. She was looking regal. She was looking amazing. And guys, I'm sorry to say, but okay, I'm not really sorry, yes, but permit me to say that Safa is actually my fave. Yes, I just love her fashion sense. Every time she shows up for a gathering, oh my God, she eats up the feet. She always dresses to kill. She always dresses, you know, to the occasion, always looking classy. But then, even when Farhana was playing nice by complimenting her look, her glasses, her outfit, she decided to shade Farhana during her confessional.
Amal, please don't judge. I love the shades, by the way.
I love the vibe. Are you saying I was the best dressed? Of course. Of course I'm the best dressed. I mean, Farhana's dress I would have worn to a picnic.
The shade! Oh my God. That girl. I hear a funny thing. She's very tiny, petite like me, but her mouth is very sharp. Very sharp. The guests arrived and Farhana was busy creating content as usual. And guys, I could see where Zeina's upset was coming from, because the party was in full swing. Everybody was excited, people were having conversations, but Farhana, who is the birthday girl for the 4th or 6th time, that is supposed to be going around socializing, you know, having conversations with her people that she had invited, was busy going around taking pictures, looking for her videographer, her photographer, you know, talking to her fans on social media, probably on Instagram, that, hey guys, look at us, it's my party again. Oh, guys, she was literally running an advert. Yes, she was an ad spree. She was busy talking about, oh, this pillow is sponsored by XYZ, and it was a huge turnoff for Zeina. It was so irritating for Zeina. I mean, guys, Zeina's facial expression said it all. Zeina could not really hide it. And then she moved on to Safa, her best friend, you know, to confide in Safa about how exactly she was feeling. That, listen, I don't like it whenever Farhana invites us and it seems like, oh, we are here, you know, to be sponsored as well. You know, she was upset, and it was at the point that she was talking about it that Farhana joined them at the table. And then she immediately switched on to Farhana and was expressing, you know, her dissatisfaction at the way Farhana was actually playing a bad host. Yes, for her, it did not sit well with her.
But whenever there is an event where I feel that it's like full of influencers and cameras and stuff, I would I don't know, I'm not too rich to the earn, but yeah.
And then she outrightly told Farhana that when next you invite me and I don't show up, just know that it's for these reasons. You know, there's too many paparazzi everywhere, there's too many content creation going on here and there. I don't want people to see me, you know, on your page and think that I am also there to be sponsored, you know, that kind of thing. So it kind of hurt Farhana's pride, yes. Farhana kind of felt bad, and she was like, oh, it's fine, it's okay if you don't want to come to my parties anymore, it's fine. But during her confessionals, Farhana was so pissed.
Why do you come to a party then if you know it's going to be, if you feel that it's going to be sponsored, why do you want to be there? Like, don't come. You have a choice, right?
Don't get offended if in case I don't show up, you know?
It's fine. It's up to you. Like, if you don't want to come, honestly, completely up to you.
You know, Farhana was like, well, nobody forced you to come. If you did not want to come, you had a choice. You should not have come. Now, what do I think about that particular scenario? Ladies and gentlemen, I understand where Zeina is coming from. Most of these elites, most people who are kind of well-to-do and also influential and affluential, they kind of like to keep it on the low. They do not really want people to think that they are soliciting for funds or soliciting for sponsorship, right? Because they have pride in their hustle. They have pride in what they do. And Zeina is that kind of female. For Farhana, on the other hand, guys, Farhana is an influencer. Farhana is a content creator. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen content creators, or let me just say influencers in their element, that is exactly what they do. Influencers literally can organize events out of nothing, you know, just because they want to create content. Sometimes they have nothing to celebrate. They have nothing to really, you know, show out, but they have to create it by themselves, especially if they do not have events to go to. And also, especially if they have things they want to showcase as being sponsored, things they want to promote, things, let's say products or services from brands that they actually want to market for those brands, because they're getting paid for all of these things. So it is their hustle, it is their work. And guys, it was quite interesting to see that Zeina, with all of her exposure, kind of does not really understand, you know, that aspect of Farhana's work. Yeah, I mean, guys, it was just very obvious that Zeina does not really get it, that whatever Farhana was doing, you know, even though she was doing it at the wrong time, kinda, yeah, but that was her working in her so-called birthday party, and she was actually making money from what she was doing. So just like she makes money from her real estate hustle, that's the same way, or maybe that's the same kind of different way that Farhana was making money from her influencing hustle. And there's nothing wrong about it, because influencing now is like the new gold. Everybody now is an influencer. And if Farhana is successful at it, then it means that she's actually really good at it. And I kind of agree with Farhana though. I mean, hey, if Zeina was not comfortable in that kind of setting, why did she even attend anyways? I mean, nobody forced her. She had a choice. But then guys, we know that it is a show at the end of the day, and content needs to be created in the same show. So whatever those people are doing, we know that it's content. Then the next scene was Lejane at her home having an interview with an old friend from the media. And that was where we got to learn about the reasons she was actually switching careers, yes, from presenting to acting. So according to her, she was going to continue presenting, but she was going to also take up acting as a new career path. And that was where we also learned about the whole concept of most women in the media in the Arab world expiring fast, you know, as they progress in age. And for Lejane, it was just a very, very sad thing to happen to women in the media world, in the Arab world as well, because for other women presenters in the Western world, what's people are really after is what they have upstairs other than their looks, right? But in the Arab world, things are more superficial, according to what Lejane was explaining, that things are more superficial, and what most media houses kind of look out for are young ladies who are fresher in looks and kind of younger in looks. And that's kind of like an issue, you know, for people like her who have spent over 20 years in the media, right? And that was why, in order for her not to expire quickly, you know, she was touring a new path in life, that's acting. And guys, that was really sad. I mean, things like that are not only evident in the Arab world, guys. These are things that happen everywhere. Yes, everywhere in the whole world. And it's not a conversation that most people are actually ready for. But guys, that's the truth. Yeah. You know this thing they talk about, oh, Gen Z. People are thinking that, oh, Gen Z is the new way forward. So here is me thinking, so if Gen Z is the new way forward, what happens to people that have been in the industry for the longest time? Should they just expire and die simply because we have Gen Z? I mean, guys, what are your thoughts about it? I would love to know in the comment section as well. This next scene was explosive. Ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of fact, the drama that happened in this next scene, ladies and gentlemen, kind of became the determining factor, yes, for the multiple dramas that unfolded in the following episodes of this show, guys. You know what, let's just quickly get into it. So Danya and DJ Bliss decided to host some of their friends to dinner, and in attendance was Safa, there was also Zeina, there was also Ebraheem. So it was just a small dinner, right? And Danya, who was also friends with Ebraheem and what's her name now, Farhana, decided to confront Zeina about what Zeina had complained to Farhana about, you know, about her parties always being about sponsored things and about promotions and marketing for brands. And Danya had decided to take it upon herself to fight Farhana's battle. Guys, she had confronted Zeina. Zeina had said what she said, that, oh yes, I feel like that is how Farhana's parties always is, and I'm not always comfortable when such, you know, activities are going on around me. And Safa too was also expressing herself, you know, that the whole thing, everything is always looking sponsored. So at some point, you don't even know which thing is actually real, that truly belongs to Farhana, and which is actually sponsored. And Danya's point was that it doesn't really matter because that was Farhana's job, right? So whether her parties are sponsored or not, that is her own source of livelihood, right? Farhana is not like the other women who are either self-made or just plain wealthy or maybe married into wealth. And then Danya was kind of throwing shades at Safa, you know, trying to tell Safa that, oh, look at you, you're married to a billionaire. Were you into the life of luxury before marrying your husband Fahad? And Safa stood her ground saying that, oh yes, that she was actually into real estate and she made her mark, and she was also having her own luxurious lifestyle before she met her husband. Now, whilst all of these conversations were going on, Ebraheem, who was actually enjoying the shade though, he even made a derogatory comment, you know, about, oh, since Farhana is not wealthy, he should be a good friend by marrying Farhana so that Farhana becomes a millionaire since he is already a millionaire. This guy was actually also making a mockery of Farhana, but just to prove that, oh yes, I'm the good friend, this guy stood up, picked up his phone, went far off the table, and went ahead and called Farhana.
They're kind of trying to say that you're fake, and I'm like,
I'm certainly not fake. I'm a self-made woman.
Guys, Ebraheem downloaded verbatim every single thing that was said about Farhana to Farhana, and then whilst he was saying all of that, he now decided to vindicate Danya. Like, he was now showering praises on Danya, that, oh, Farhana, just know that moving forward, you have Danya as a friend. Danya had your back. Danya was fighting your fight for you. She was the one defending you, whilst the other two witches were saying XYZ. I said, oh my God. And then after he was done downloading everything, he now reminded Farhana that, listen, moving forward, just know that you have a brother in Ebraheem. Ebraheem has got your back. I say, oh my God, what a snitch. And then he now made a statement like, oh, I felt somehow sitting down here and watching them pull you down. I say, Ebraheem, you are a freaking liar. Like, guys, this was the same Ebraheem that was kind of also throwing shades at Farhana. And then he ran to go and call her, made it look like, oh, he was the saint. He did not say XYZ. Hi! In the next scene, LJ decided to invite her circle, you know, for her desert getaway, without inviting Farhana, because DJ Bliss was asking, oh, are you inviting everybody? She said yes. He said, oh, no, who specifically are you not inviting? What about Farhana? And then LJ said no, that she was not ready, you know, to have a conversation with Farhana yet. And guys, the next episode is going to shock you, but I'm just going to zip it up, and then we quickly move on to the next scene, where Safa and her husband Fahad had invited some of their friends to their house for barbecue dinner. So Danya and DJ Bliss were there, and then there was also Chris and his fiancée Brianna, and that was where Safa had decided to, you know, spring a shocker on Fahad. You know, she had announced that she had a major announcement to share with the circle, and everybody was all excited, waiting to hear what she had to say. Even her husband too was excited. And before we knew it, Safa had, you know, dropped the bombshell on the husband that, oh, that she has finally decided, you know, to take on surrogacy to give her husband the second child that he wants. And guys, everybody was excited, thinking that Safa had actually had that conversation with her husband, not knowing that they had not even had the conversation, and that became a problem because the husband was not even finding it funny at all, and so he was, you know, angry, like, why would you spring up such a surprise without us having the conversation? And Safa decided to also do reverse psychology. Now she was upset that, well, you are the one that's been bugging me for another child, and I told you I was not ready, but then you are making it look like a bata that, oh, I give her a child, you give me a bigger house. So I've told you, I've made up my mind, we are going to have another child, but I'm not going to be the one carrying the pregnancy. Guys, what are your thoughts about it? I mean, I get where the husband is coming from, that's Farhad, but then I just felt like it was just kind of insensitive, you know, of Safa to spring up such a surprise on her husband without even having a conversation with him first, you know. But then I wasn't really worried because I kind of like the marriage that Safa and Farhad have, you know. These two people understand each other to the T. Farhad is a very, very patient and loving and understanding husband. He knows that he is married to a spoilt brat. He knows that he is married to a very, very petty child. That's Safa, and he knows how to, you know, handle her. He understands her mood, and most of the time when they're having conversations or even arguments, you can tell that he's trying his best not to lose his cool and not to, you know, belittle her in arguments that they have. So even when they're having arguments, he tries to be respectful, you know, in the midst of their arguments. But guys, this time around, I just felt like, nah, Safa did not play fair at all. And then also referring back to the conversation that Safa and Zeina were having about Farhana's hustle. Ladies and gentlemen, I just felt like those two women, it's either they don't understand Farhana's line of work, or they were just plain disrespectful to Farhana's hustle. But I would love to know your thoughts about it, guys. So just go ahead and let me know your thoughts about this particular episode in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thank you all so much for watching, and have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.